listen to this.
Hello everyone. Today, let us nourish our consciousness, our life essence that is formless, spacious, and pure. Let us allow the mind to awaken to the nature of fabrication, to recognize that what appears outside of us is not truly who we are, and to realize that the experiences we've relied on all along are born of delusion we've been caught in for ages. It's like watching a movie or a drama. We've watched so much, day after day, that we've begun to believe we are the main character, the hero, the heroine, or even the side character. We've become emotionally absorbed, completely forgetting that we are simply the one watching the movie. We've forgotten that we have no real connection to what's playing on the screen. We've forgotten that the movie doesn't have any real substance. It's just a show, a story, a fiction someone has created. Everything that appears on screen has no true self, no actual existence. This is where we get lost. We get pulled into the illusion. And here, right here, lies the foundation of wisdom. I've created recordings that explain the nature of the mind and the practice of directly realizing it, what I call the science of awakening to the mind. It is the root of true peace for the world. It is a universal key to true liberation from suffering. We can be free from suffering permanently because this teaching, awakening to the mind, is something we've never truly heard before. If we truly realize the mind, suffering disappears completely, and we will know for certain that this world is empty. Nothing at all has any inherent self or substance. It's like watching a movie. One day, we suddenly realize that none of it is real, and yet we've been so absorbed, thinking we're the hero, the heroine, the victim. When something bad happens to the character, we get angry. We become upset because the hero is disappointed, because the heroine is heartbroken. We're emotionally stirred by something that doesn't even truly exist. Can you understand this? Let me continue. My task is to offer insight, because our minds lack wisdom. Remember this well. We are the mind. We are the life element that has no form, that is spacious, luminous, and deeply pure. That is what we truly are. This voice you're hearing isn't really our voice. It's just a tool. Mental images aren't ours either. They are just tools. Feelings of happiness, sorrow, neutrality, all emotions are simply tools. They are just functions of experience. Even memory is merely a function, just a tool that receives and processes. The one that knows the voice, the one that perceives scent. Can you observe that it knows by itself? Can you see that it perceives taste and sight all on its own? When we can see this, we'll understand that all of these are simply instruments. They are not us. They do not belong to anyone. They are simply expressions of the mind. We are the mind, this life element that is utterly formless, spacious, and purely radiant. Yet we've become lost in the tools. We've become attached to the meanings we give. This is my body. This is my house. This is my car. This is my land. We become deeply absorbed in all these conditioned things, just like watching a drama or a film and believing it's real. But do you realize? The things in the story aren't truly real. They are created, fabricated. Can you understand this? The truth is, we are sitting here watching a movie, watching a play, aren't we? This is the initial truth. We are the observer of the show. What is being known is the drama. But it's not us, and it has no true essence. It is a constructed story, made to be observed, so that we may become aware of how the mind works. We are able to perceive all things because we have this faculty of knowing. We have this tool, this ability to receive, which allows us to experience everything. But this knowing is not who we are. It is just a function, doing its own work of knowing. Right now, in this very moment, this very second, can we see clearly who is perceiving this sound? Look closely, turn inward. Can you observe who it is that is aware of this voice? This sound strikes the mind, and the mind responds with a subtle ripple. That ripple is just a function, an expression of perception occurring in the present. Do you see that it is aware of the sound, right now? Who among us can see this, that it knows all on its own? It's just words. As soon as the sound ends, there's emptiness. Nothing remains. But when sound arises, the knowing arises with it, matching each sound that makes contact. Can we see this kind of truth? This is the truth. We are watching a movie, a drama. This is reality. And an even deeper truth is that what we see in this theater, these stories and characters, are merely fabrications. The hero doesn't exist. The heroine doesn't exist. Every supporting role, every name, every expressive gesture is simply a performance, part of a script. None of it has a real self. And what is perceiving it all, at the most refined level, is this knowing that functions by itself. Can we grasp this subtle depth? That which is knowing, it knows on its own. It doesn't need effort to know. It simply does. Observe now. Are you hearing my voice? You're not trying to hear it, yet you do. It hears on its own. Just observe. Can you see that it hears by itself? So where is this thing we call me? Let the mind answer. It hears by itself, doesn't it? And it understands this language by its own nature, doesn't it? Where is this me? Don't try to think. Don't try to remember. Let the mind answer for itself. I am leading you home. What we lack is simply the wisdom of understanding. We are all mind. We are the life element, profoundly spacious, radiant, and pure. Our mind, this pure and luminous life essence, has no movement in it. There is no coming or going here. It is never born, and it can never be destroyed. It is the zero element, where time is zero, where dimension is zero. It is the immortal element, the original source of all things. We are that original element, clear, pure, and completely untainted. There is not even the slightest trace of fabrication in it, but calling it over there is already too far away. It is right here. This is how I am all the time. I no longer question anything, but in the past, I used to ask myself, why were we born? What do we truly want? Even though I had everything, family, home, car, something deep inside still felt incomplete. I realized that time is short, because this body won't last long. That's a basic truth. The body won't last. We've taken on this human form for one purpose, but most of us don't even know what that purpose is. What do we truly want? We've studied every discipline under the sun, yet we've become slaves to this piece of paper. Do you understand? The paper we call money. We struggle for it, compete, betray, harm, deceive. We grow angry, we hate, because of paper. Just think, after all these years of being alive, we are still enslaved by a piece of paper. From birth until now, we've struggled, hated, and competed just to grab hold of paper. And what do we use it for? To buy food. All this time, we've been slaves to paper. But what is it that we truly want? I too struggled to find an answer. I tried everything. Eventually, I came to learn about the mind. What is the mind? I didn't understand it at first. I thought this body was me. I believed the outer shell was me. But even then, I knew the body doesn't last long. Isn't that true? So let's call it a vessel. We've come to dwell in this vessel, which means we are not this body. Isn't that right? Whoever can see this, congratulations. That's wisdom. But if you hear this and don't understand, it means the mind is still deeply clouded. Let me put it another way. I said we inhabit this vessel, this physical body. That shows clearly we are not the body. So what are we? I've already told you, and you know it. This vessel doesn't last. It can fall apart at any moment. It could be this evening or tomorrow. We could collapse while walking. We could be hit by something. Something could fall on us at home. We could feel a sudden tightness in the chest and drop. This body is prone to every kind of illness. When we were young, there were no illnesses. But as we grow older, oh, they come in droves. Sudden tightness, dizziness, cramps, breathlessness, allergic shocks, fatigue, all sorts of ailments. And we give them names. This disease, that condition, even cancer. Call it whatever you want. This only proves one thing. We dwell in a vessel, which means we are not the vessel itself. If anyone still doesn't understand this, it shows great blindness. But those who see clearly that the body isn't who we are, they've seen rightly. Like I said, if the body collapses and dies right now, in this very moment, our true nature never dies. It just seeks out a new body. So what are we really? Why do we go on to seek a new body, a new vessel? Why do we take up another form? What are we, at the core? I've said before, we are the mind. But mind is just a word for something beyond words. It refers to a natural essence that cannot be named. You can call it the mind if you want. It is crystal clear. It never moves. It is never born and never destroyed. It is pure spacious clarity, completely untainted. It merges into the open clarity before us and expands into the entire universe. Within it, there is no air, no form, no sound, no image, no emotion, no sensation, no memory. There is only pure purity, utterly free of any conditioning. It is the immortal element, the original element of all things. When I came to study this and awaken to it within myself, I saw that nothing, absolutely nothing, is truly me. It was like watching a film. None of it is real. The movie we got so emotionally attached to, thinking we were this or that character, was never real to begin with. It only appeared so that we might perceive it, seen through the eyes, heard through the ears. But who is perceiving? There is a knowing that perceives, not you or me doing the knowing. It is an act of knowing that happens on its own. And when I saw this truth, something burst open. Let me explain using the terms citta, mind, and citta sankhara, mental formations. The mental formations shattered. They separated completely from the pure mind. The citta sankhara exploded into fragments. To put it simply, the mental activities, the fabricated mind, utterly dissolved. Or to use everyday words, the mind exploded. But what exploded was not the true mind. It was the conditioned mental activity. And once that shattered, what remained? What remained was something beyond speech. You could still call it the mind, but this is the original mind. I had finally encountered my true mind. This mind, this life element, has no form. It is completely empty of fabrication. It is crystal clear, profoundly pure, immaculately untouched. It is one and the same with the spaciousness of the entire cosmos, a cosmos in which nothing exists. That is what we are. If we erased the entire universe, erased all darkness and light, the stars, the sun, black holes, dust, erased everything, what would remain is a vast, clear, and pure emptiness. That is what we are. Can the human mind understand such a thing? This is what we truly are. Each and every one of us possesses a mind, a life element that is radiant, pure, and utterly clear. It is the immortal element, and yet we've never known the mind. No one has ever come to tell us or teach us. So from now on, let's share these talks. Let the whole world hear them. Let us bring this teaching, this direct realization of the mind, into our education systems. If you have any influence in education, bring this in. Everyone must listen to these talks and come to directly realize the mind. For those who awaken, mental fabrications shatter. The conditioned mind collapses. They realize they are not a person. We are not human beings. We have never truly been born into this world. Once we see clearly that nothing is truly us, that nothing has any inherent self, then this knowledge becomes the path to complete and irreversible freedom from suffering. We will never again suffer from anything. This world of conventions, this is what we will see for the very last time. This is the last scent we will ever smell on this earth. This is the last sound we will ever hear. This is the last sensation of hot, cold, soft, or gentle touch that we will ever feel, because in that purity, there is nothing. No suffering at all exists in that state. There is only clarity, purity, and a brightness beyond all comparison. No language can truly convey it. What would you say is the highest happiness in the world? Whatever the world calls the greatest happiness, it is not even a speck compared to this. I would even go so far as to say it's unclean in comparison. Because in this purity, there is absolutely no impurity. There is no pleasure. There is no pain. There is only absolute immaculate purity. It is beyond even the word beyond. Let this be understood. Once we awaken, we will never suffer from anything again. Stress will disappear. Mental disorders will fade. Bipolar will fade. Migraines, depression, insomnia, gone. Every stress-related illness will disappear, even cancer. Acid reflux will be healed. Stomach diseases will clear up. Why do we have so many illnesses? Because of stress. We think and think until it weighs down on us. We live in this physical vessel, yet cling to it as if it were us. But this body is not us. That is the outer layer. And we don't just rely on the body, we rely on the voice. We use this voice to communicate. That means we are not the voice either. This is even subtler now. The coarse view is that we dwell in the body. And I've already told you, this body won't last long. The time remaining is short. Awaken to the mind now. We have a mind, but we don't know it. Isn't that shameful? It's truly unfortunate. Our true self is not this body. Remember this well. We have come to dwell in this vessel, and yet we've gotten lost in it. If we're still clinging to it, that's a shame. If we remain lost like this, we'll keep being born endlessly. Let me tell you, if you still haven't directly realized the mind, if you still don't know the mind, haven't yet awakened to the point where it bursts open from within, and you become pure emptiness, merging with the entire universe, it will go on forever. This is how I am now, all the time. There is no longer any sense of being anything. Even as I speak to you now, there is no sense that I am speaking. There are only functions occurring by themselves. Thoughts arise on their own. Emotions arise on their own. Knowing happens on its own. Memory functions on its own. Forgetting happens on its own. Everything just is, as it always has been. Before I awakened, this is how it was. But after awakening, it became clear that there is no me in this world. Everything continues exactly as before. Nothing has changed, except that I am no longer there, and nothing else is either. There is no sense of someone speaking, no sense that this is a voice, no sense that there is someone hearing it. There is only nature, through and through. Everything is just nature. It merges with all that is. There is only nature. No one owns anything. There is no self at all. And right here, there is no suffering. This is the one and only reason why we have come to dwell in this vessel. This is the only answer the mind truly seeks. The mind longs for this wisdom, for the knowledge that leads to awakening. We must realize the mind. Everyone, please share my talks on the 𝙈𝙗𝙨 channel so that people all around the world can hear them. Let children grow up hearing them, play them out loud. For those who seek awakening and permanent freedom from suffering, if you're in a comfortable position and wish to order recordings to give away, get in touch. We will distribute them widely so that many more people can listen and be freed from suffering. Wouldn't it be wonderful if the people of the world awakened to the mind? Imagine if we spoke only about the mind, about the end of suffering, about awakening and freedom. No one would suffer again. This would be the last time we are ever born as slaves to a piece of paper. Keep listening until you realize that you are this pure element. It is entirely open and vast. Once we realize that we are this element, we become it. We no longer care about this vessel because we know it's not us. We will feel this truth deeply in our hearts, that this vessel is not us. Nothing at all is us. And then we will speak to one another about the wonder of the mind. For those who are especially refined, you will see things that the ordinary human eye cannot see. You will know things that cannot be known through the human intellect. Mindfulness, wisdom, and concentration will flourish. You will become builders of a future filled with well-being. There will be no more harm, no more competition, no more killing, no more hurting, because there is nothing to call me or mine. We are all one and the same. We divided ourselves by convention, calling ourselves male, female, this person or that person. We divided ourselves into high and low, rich and poor. But the moment we awaken to the mind, we will feel deeply in our hearts that we are all one. We have merely come to dwell in these vessels and have been divided by worldly conventions. But in the purity of our true essence, we are one substance, one clear, radiant emptiness that merges seamlessly with the cosmic element. We are entirely one, undivided, equal, and without pride. No one is superior. No one is inferior. Nothing belongs to us at all. It is as if we've escaped from this world, as if we've seen that this world is all illusion. It's like we've awoken from a dream. We had been dreaming we were human, living out countless stories. But when we awaken, it's as if we snap out of the dream. And suddenly, we see, it was all a dream. Tears flow. We thought everything was real, but it was all a dream. Once we realize this, we may still appear to live within the dream, until this dream body dissolves. Do you understand? But now, when we return to this dream world, something is different. We no longer cling to anything. We no longer fight. These days, people kill each other over land, trees, resources, and even paper. They fight for power, claiming, I'm right, I'm better, hurting one another in countless ways. But if we were to awaken from this dream, if we truly realize the nature of the mind, we'd see clearly. There's no need to argue, no need to fight or insult each other. There is nothing that belongs to us. There is no self to be found in anything. Before long, this body will break apart and die. That's all there is. But when the body dies, if we've awakened, we'll no longer extend our energy to cling to any form again. We'll know deeply that once the mind realizes its true nature, once it becomes one with the pure, formless essence, it is that essence. We'll see that this is who we truly are, the pure element with no form, so clear and boundless, it merges into the entire universe. Once we know this truth, There will be no more desire to harm, insult, or fight. Why struggle over a piece of paper? All of it dissolves, because the self is gone. Only purity remains. But if we haven't realized this truth, if we die without awakening, then the mind, or what you might call the life element, will continue wandering. It will seek a new form endlessly, without wisdom, without knowing itself, without realizing that it is this pure element. It will be drawn into new containers again and again. And most often, nearly 99.9999% of the time, that container will be the form of an animal. Only 0.001% are fortunate enough to be reborn as a human. It's incredibly rare. Our own minds, yes, us, will search for a new vessel, a body of a land animal, a sea creature, a bird, an underground being, and then we will eat and be eaten in that world. When others eat us, we won't die instantly. We'll suffer immense pain before death finally comes, and then we'll be the one eating them too. When that form dies, we'll find a new one, usually another animal body. And again, we'll repeat this cycle, consuming and being consumed, filled with anger, hatred, and vengeance. When we die again, we'll continue the cycle, reborn into a new body over and over. This is the cycle of becoming. We are born, we eat, and then we die. That's all. Born to eat to die, endlessly. Born to age, fall ill, and die. Born only to suffer. And there is nothing that can free us from this cycle, unless we awaken, unless we realize the truth of the mind. Let me show you this more clearly. We inhabit this body. That means we are not the body. We only dwell in it. Understand? So don't let this body die before you awaken. You must realize the mind before the body breaks apart. Remember this. Awaken as soon as you can. To understand the mind, to realize the mind, means to fully enter into it. When you truly enter, everything collapses. The belief that we are human shatters completely. What remains is a clear, pure essence, transparent and vast, merging with the entire universe, with the great emptiness that contains nothing at all. It becomes one with everything, and it's like this all the time, even now. But we've come to believe that this body is who we are. That's the coarsest form of self. That's why I tell you, we dwell in this body. So clearly, this body is not us. Leave it behind for a moment. Erase the body. Then look at what remains inside, what we use to dwell in the body. That's the second layer. We inhabit this inner voice. We believe this voice is who we are, but that's just a phenomenon. We rely on this voice in the mind, the thoughts that arise, the inner dialogue. Whether you call it a thought or the voice within, it's a tool, and we've mistaken it as ourselves. Do you see? If you don't yet understand this, you're still in the dark. That's okay. Just keep listening. Listen often. But if someone truly understands this, if they feel it, tears may start to flow. A sense of lightness, a deep release. Remember this. If the understanding is real, it will feel like that. Things begin to fall away, one layer at a time. When there's that sudden aha moment, oh, and everything feels lighter, more open, even moving you to tears. That's a sign. That's the mark of true insight. It touches you deeply. Right now, your mind, your life element, is still projecting energy outward to cling to the body. But if you truly see that this body is not who you are, that outward flow of energy will begin to draw inward. It will start to retreat. Let the body go. Look within. Let the attention awaken inside. Keep listening to my talks. This is important. Set your intention clearly. You will realize the mind. You will awaken. you will reach it, and you will no longer suffer foolishly. Remember, the mind is supreme. It is the origin of all things, of both joy and suffering, and it can also transcend both. Everything is born from the mind, and through it, everything can be resolved. And this mind, this knowing, already exists within you. So keep listening to these teachings again and again until my voice resonates within your own mind, until it becomes part of your inner world. Then you'll be ready to no longer suffer. Just keep listening until the lightness arises again and again, until the understanding deepens more and more on its own. Now let's go deeper. We rely on this voice to communicate, but if we don't rely on it, if we let it speak on its own, let it think on its own, just as I'm doing right now, it becomes clear. I'm not using this voice as me. Most people still cling to it, but that means the voice cannot be who we really are. If it's not truly you speaking, then who is? Can you see it? This voice is simply an expression of the mind, a natural function. Just like heat radiates from the sun, this voice is a movement arising from the source. Heat radiates continuously from the sun, but the heat isn't the sun itself. It's the energy being emitted. We can call it a characteristic, a function, a radiance, something that surrounds and emanates from the sun. It gives off warmth, light, and gravity. It radiates electromagnetic fields and magnetic forces. That's just its nature. It simply is that way. Try to understand this nature. I'm guiding you beyond everything you've ever mistaken as yourself. I've said it before. The body is not your body. Let's leave that behind now. If that part isn't yet clear, go back and listen again. Listen many times. We dwell in the body, which means we are not the body. Simple as that. Now we go deeper into the second layer. We inhabit this voice. We hold on to it, believe it is who we are. But the moment we see that the voice is not us, we begin to discover our true self, the one that lies deeper within. And at that deepest core, there are no more words. We'll speak of that final layer later on. But here, in this second layer, we must see that we use this voice only as a tool to communicate. That means we don't have a voice. That's why we need to use one. Understand this clearly. If someone gets it, if it clicks, if there's that oh moment, then the lightness comes, the tears flow. If you've reached this point, I rejoice with you. If anyone still doesn't understand what's being said, that's okay. You're simply still in the dark. Before one becomes wise, one must first be ignorant. Before gaining insight, one must first be lost. So keep listening again and again. We use this voice to communicate, which clearly means the voice is not who we are. We don't have a voice of our own, so we borrow one to speak. And we use mental imagery too. Every time we think of an elephant, an image appears. Think of your parents. You'll see them in your mind. Think of someone you love, someone you're fond of. Instantly, the image arises. Think of a place, a flower, a field, the earth, a garden. Whatever you think of, the image appears. This shows we rely on mental images to communicate. And so, we are not those images. I've said before, these are just tools of the mind. Try to understand this. We also rely on another tool, emotion. Pleasant emotions are what we call happiness. Unpleasant ones are what we call suffering. Suffering shows up as anger, hatred, jealousy, sadness, loneliness, boredom, restlessness. These are all forms of pain. Then there are neutral emotions, indifference, blankness, and also calm, peaceful emotions. But all of these too are not who we are. We merely use them. And if we use them, then clearly we are not them. Do you understand this? If someone listens and truly sees this, they'll feel it. An incredible lightness, as if the self disappears. That's the moment it clicks, deeply and silently within. Tears may come, but if you're listening and still confused, wondering, why don't I understand? That's okay too. Even in your questioning, you may not yet realize that you're thinking. That means you're still in the dark. But it's all right. Keep listening. My job is to offer insight to your mind. The mind simply lacks wisdom. It just needs that. Listen many times. Trust me. Just keep listening. Even if it doesn't make sense now, it will start to. Bit by bit, you'll understand. 1%, then 2%, then 3%, and onward. Some people pick it up quickly, just 25% in, and already the tears begin. A lightness, a softness enters. Keep going. 40%, then 50%. And when you reach 50%, it may move you deeply again. Another wave of tears, another wave of release. Once you reach 75%, something shifts. You'll feel light and clear all the time. At this point, knowing arises continuously. You'll become aware of your thoughts as they appear, automatically. This stage doesn't need effort anymore. The knowing does itself. Then, keep listening, keep deepening. You'll reach 80%, 85%, 90%, 95%, and then, at 100%, something explodes open. Suddenly, as you're walking one day, light, open, without effort, you might notice how strangely free the body feels. Light, clear. And then it happens. Boom. The mind becomes pure space, radiantly clear. You merge into the whole universe. You become that boundless clarity. This is 100%. At 75%, the wisdom starts to spin on its own. It grows on its own. It walks its own path. Until finally, the mind simply becomes what it has always been. As we near the point of full realization, reaching 100%, something strange and beautiful begins to happen. There's a deep, unusual lightness, a softness that feels unlike anything we've known. We haven't done anything, and yet, why is everything so light, so open, so effortlessly clear? There's no more thinking, no more mental grasping. Whether we're walking or doing anything at all, everything feels weightless. And then it explodes. Boom. We break free from our identity as a human being. We become a radiant, pure element, merging with the vastness of the universe. In that moment, we know suffering is over. Nothing remains. It's like all the knowledge we once had about being alive on this earth simply collapses. It vanishes, like waking up from a long, convincing dream. Suddenly, we realize deep in our hearts, it was never real. And that's the end of it. All the concepts we clung to disintegrate. What's left is only the pure, untouched clarity of the mind. When this body dies, the mind no longer seeks birth. There is no us left. Nothing remains to point to and say, this is me. Only spaciousness, purity, and the absolute absence of identity. This is what it truly is. We use this voice to communicate. See? I'm using this voice now to tell you. This voice is not who we are. We use mental imagery. That means we have no image of our own. We borrow images. We use emotions. That means we do not have emotions. Our true self has no emotions at all. Emotions are not us. And then comes the next layer, memory, the ability to remember or forget. We rely on that too. And the act of perceiving, hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, this too we rely on. All these sensory experiences, we simply use them. Yet we cling to them, assuming they define us. But if we observe closely, We'll see. We use these functions. They operate by themselves. We're not actually involved. We are not the act of perception. The true nature of the mind is the life element that has no form. Can you see that? It has no form, so it seeks to inhabit a form, because it doesn't know what it is. We don't know what we are, so we inhabit this body. Do you understand? But once we realize that we are the pure element, we stop relying on any of it. If we know we are the clear, formless purity, then we'll no longer rely on sound, for there is no sound in that realm. We won't return to using the voice. Even this voice I'm using now, it's not something I depend on. This is something you must see for yourself, understand for yourself. And when you do, tears will fall, because you'll know you will never be born again. Nothing can make you return. Once you've broken free completely, that's it. No matter what happens, you won't be born again. We use this voice to function within the world of appearances. This world is merely a fiction, like a dream, like a play. The voice is only here to tell you it's not real. Mental imagery, too, is just a tool. It's not who we are. We use it because we are the pure, transparent element. That element has none of these things. We use emotions, but only in this world. In the pure element, there are no emotions, no joy, no sorrow, no neutrality, no liking or disliking, none at all. Only clarity, only purity, only stillness. So clear, so untouched. Emotions exist only to be used in this world. If you understand this, you'll suddenly realize, why did I suffer in ignorance for so long? If we truly see that pleasure arises on its own and then fades, that pain arises on its own and then fades, then we step out of it. If we can simply observe, we'll realize that we are merely relying on the function of knowing. Just observe right now, in the present. The truth is always showing itself. It's always revealing that everything is happening on its own. The knowing happens on its own. Thoughts arise on their own. Emotions of satisfaction or dissatisfaction, neutrality, happiness, suffering, appear and dissolve on their own. So why do we cling to them? Once you understand this, truly feel it, it will bring a deep sense of lightness and freedom. Observe this carefully. See clearly that thoughts arise by themselves. Look inward. Observe inside your own heart. Just observe. Don't try. Don't strain. Let nature know nature. Keep listening to these teachings gently. Sooner or later, it will become clear. You'll see it for yourself. This is what we mean when we say, nature realizes nature. If we can simply witness that the voice in the mind is speaking on its own, and a realization dawns, oh, it's thinking by itself, and tears come, and the mind feels wide open and free, that's 25%. Then we keep observing. We see how emotions come and go. Joy arises and passes. Pain arises and passes. Then the question comes, why were we drowning in pain? Why were we lost in joy? If it's all happening on its own, and it's not actually ours, then why do we suffer over it? Everything, the whole structure, is just thought. That realization is deeper than the first one. If you reach this point, deeply moved, in tears again, this is 50%. Now you keep observing. You begin to lose interest in emotions. They're no longer important. Your attention moves to the voice in the mind. You start to see the inner voice constantly, not because you're trying, not because you're training mindfulness, but because it's naturally seen. The mind begins to awaken on its own. It sees thoughts for what they are. It understands deeply. The more it sees, the more it understands. And from this understanding, the mind awakens. That awakening begins to rise more and more. Eventually, it sees thoughts even in dreams. It sees constantly, without trying to. That uninterrupted awareness, automatic and effortless, is 75%. At this point, everything becomes very light, very clear. It feels like you understand everything, but it's not finished yet. There's still something quietly knowing inside, all the time, operating on its own. Then, as you keep listening, the lightness grows, the spaciousness deepens. Whether walking or doing anything, there's a profound lightness. You may begin to wonder, where have I gone? Everything feels unusually spacious. No thoughts, no effort, just purity inside. And then suddenly, a shift, a click. You hear a sound, and it's clear. It hears on its own. You smell something, and you know it's smelling on its own. The seeing, the hearing, the knowing, all are happening on their own. And then, without warning, it explodes. You see that the act of knowing is happening by itself, and in that instant, everything breaks apart. The mind separates from all mental activity, thoughts, emotions, images, sensations. The mind is freed from all formations. Boom. It's like the whole universe shatters into pieces. The body is erased. Thoughts, feelings, perception, gone. Even the concept of the universe itself, erased. Darkness, light, gone. And what remains is just one natural essence. Boom. At this point, the tears are unstoppable. This is the end. We will come to know, deeply and undeniably, that we are nothing at all. What remains is the life element, formless, empty, clear, and pure, dissolving into the entire universe. And in that realization, there is no self. Everything is seen, everything is known, but there is no one who sees or knows. What remains is purity, nature functioning freely, without ownership, without identity. The body continues to breathe, but there is no one doing the breathing. The voice may continue speaking, but no one owns that voice anymore. All the things we once believed to be me, this voice, these mental images, these emotions, this knowing, disappear. What is discovered is that our true self is the one that cannot speak. Voice exists only in the fictional world. In the pure element, there is no voice. Mental imagery exists only in the constructed world. In the pure element, there are no images. There are no emotions either. Those belong to the realm of appearances. Every type of feeling, joy, sorrow, indifference, belongs to this imagined world. Inside, in the pure element, there are no emotions. They are simply tools for expression within this world. Even what we call knowing or awareness is only a functional tool in the world of appearances. In the pure element, there is no perception, only purity. Let's make this clear. This empty, luminous clarity right in front of us. Try to grab it with your hand. You can't. You can't grasp it. This transparent, empty purity, air moves within it, but air is not it. They are unrelated. All things dwell within this transparent purity, but it is untouched by them. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, cool and warm air, they arise within the space, but space itself knows nothing of them. Everything is held within this luminous emptiness. Everything arises from it, but it remains separate and untouched. It is not involved. The sun is not responsible for its heat, its light, its radiation, its magnetic field, its gravitational pull. These are all expressions of the sun, but the sun itself has nothing to do with them. They act, they radiate, but the sun remains what it is, unmoved. The wind, the storm, the tornado, they arise in the air and wreak havoc, but the space they move through never flinches. A good person may walk through this transparent emptiness, yet the emptiness is not good. Evil may pass through, but the emptiness is not evil. It's not touched by any of it. No matter how violent the explosion, the emptiness never moves. We can step into it, slap at it, try to mark it, but it remains without a trace. Where in this formless purity can you store goodness or badness? This is what the mind truly is. It holds no labels like good or evil, no concepts of merit or sin, right or wrong, true or false. All those are imaginary constructs, meant only for the world of illusion. Even this voice I use now is just a tool of this dream world. It speaks only to tell you, this world is imagined. It is a stage, a dream. Awaken and see the truth. None of it is real. See it. Just like watching a play or a movie, recognize that all of this arises from our own belief. Truly see that. I've said it plainly. Thought has never had any real existence. This awareness right now, it has no one behind it. This is not a voice. There is no speaker. There is nothing. It is nothing. And therefore, nothing has ever truly arisen. May this truth be revealed to your inner essence. May all of you awaken, suddenly and clearly, to the mind and the formless, luminous, pure life element. Let this be the end, for now. If you're interested in these teachings on awakening, mind observation, and transcending suffering through wisdom, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights in the comments, provide productive feedback, and if you find this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.